How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sundays, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern. Lots to talk about here on the show today. We will, of course, be joined by Mike Sempervive in the next segment. At some point this week, we're going to be joined by the Doctor of Lucha. He was originally scheduled for today, but something came up at work, so no Dr. Lucha, which means we'll have a lot of time for your calls, text messages, emails, etc. 844-411-5411 is the phone number. That is toll-free, 844-411-5411. You can send your text messages to 425-780-7566. The funeral of Bruno Sammartino took place at 10 a.m. this morning at the St. Sebastian Church in Pittsburgh. There will likely be considerable Pittsburgh media coverage of the event. The main eulogies were from Larry Richard, a Pittsburgh news reporter who knew him well, and Dr. Frank Costa. They had us all laughing and crying, said Joe Babinsack, a friend of Sammartino's who attended. Richard noted to us on Sunday that the documentary on Sammartino that aired on KDKA in Pittsburgh would be released in some form. Vince, Linda, and Stephanie McMahon were there together. Stephanie read a very nice speech penned by her husband, Paul Levesque, who is currently in Saudi Arabia and had to miss the funeral. Dominic DeNucci, a friend of Sammartino's for more than 50 years, having met him when they were the two top babyfaces on a tour of Australia, along with protege Larry Zbyszko and Shane Douglas, also attended. Former Pittsburgh Steeler Franco Harris was among those who attended the visitation over the weekend. That is the story of Bruno Sammartino, a guy who, honestly, I haven't mentioned this last week, but he's one of those guys that I thought would never pass away. I just couldn't even conceive of it. But unfortunately, he is gone, as is Motoko Baba, the wife of Shohei Giant Baba, arguably the most important and influential woman in the history of pro wrestling. Passed away on April 14th at the age of 78. News of her death was kept quiet until today. Other details not available. Funeral was on Friday. We can talk about that today. So much more. Impact Redemption, the greatest Royal Rumble on Friday. Lots of stuff to get into. Back in a moment with Sempervive, Wrestling Observer Live. We're back here in the show. Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also WrestlingObserver.com. Lots of stuff to talk about here today. Phone calls, emails, text messages, and more. As noted before the break, Motoko Baba, the wife of Shohei Giant Baba, arguably the most important and influential woman in the history of pro wrestling, passed away April 14th, age of 78. Motoko Baba and Shohei were together at a young age, but for a number of reasons, their relationship was kept secret from the public. Shohei was one of the most famous sports celebrities in the country, and even in recent years was listed as one of the top 10 most famous athletes in Japanese sports history. Ran All Japan Pro Wrestling from its inception until Baba's death in 1999. It was not until 1982, when their relationship and marriage went public, she was publicly acknowledged as the number 2 person in the company. Probably the most successful mom-and-pop pro wrestling company in history. They had the famous good cop, bad cop role. Shohei was sort of like Vince McMahon, where when somebody leaves WWE, they always talk about how, man, Vince loved me. But Jim Ross, I can't believe it, he cut me. Or whoever it might be. But of course,
Ace.
It all comes from the top. It all came from Vince and Shohei. But anyway, she was responsible for being the bad cop. If you want a lot of good bad cop stories about Mrs. Baba, you can listen to last night's Observer Radio, because she was bad cop for Dave. So after his death from cancer, she was a majority owner of the company. Mitsuharu Misawa became the company president and booker. Wanted to change the business, led to a falling out that led to the split. And of course, Misawa formed Pro Wrestling Noah. And All Japan still exists to this day. They're alive. New ownership. And that's the story of Mrs. Baba. Mike, anything on that?
It's you got Johnny Ace. We got Johnny Ace because of Motoko Baba, because she really liked Johnny Ace, and that was one of the reasons why he became such a star there, and actually started to, I guess, sharpen his teeth over there when it came to backstage. And when All Japan went through their big shake-up, he came over and started working for WCW, which at the very end, which led to him working for WWE, and now he's a Bella. Somehow, some way. It's weird how wrestling works, but yeah, she her legacy is tied in obviously with her husband's and with the enormous success of All Japan and then the exodus of everyone other than basically Stan Hansen and Kawada. And that was about it. Not too many other people stayed around when it was time for Pro Wrestling Noah to be born. But now we're at a position where both those companies are at a interesting level, trying to hold on for dear life and holding on to the legacy that Baba created years ago.
Let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's going on today?
Hey, not much going on. This is Jack from D.C. I had a question and then a brief statement about the Greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-view coming up.
Yes.
The question is, maybe I missed it, but have they announced what the winner gets of the...
He gets a trophy. Gets a trophy.
Trophy.
Well, I mean, they may add more, but right now they're getting a trophy.
Yeah, that seems strange. They're calling it the Royal Rumble, which has always been the winner gets a championship match. And if this is the greatest Royal Rumble, wouldn't, if anything, the winner get something equal to or greater than a championship match? It seems like
it's a really big trophy, dude.
Oh, well, maybe.
Listen, here's the deal. I want to thank you very much for the call. So, a couple of things here. First off, I got a text message earlier today. Apparently, this person didn't listen to the show yesterday. Would the WWE actually change the Universal title to 2 p.m. on a Friday afternoon? Well, I mean, they could. They can do whatever they want. There's a bunch of title matches on the show. I would be surprised with 7 title matches if no title changed hands. Now, with that said, if you didn't listen to the show yesterday, very quickly, they've been trying to coronate Roman Reigns for 4 years now. It was supposed to take place at this year's WrestleMania. They decided to change their mind the week before the show, didn't tell anybody, surprised most everybody that works there. They left the title on Brock Lesnar. I figured at the time that they were going to put the belt on Roman in Saudi Arabia. They might still do that. However, it is a Friday afternoon at noon Eastern. The show is going to end at 5 Eastern. Most everybody's going to be at work, or they're going to be stuck in traffic. Like the idea that they're going to coronate Roman Reigns on a WWE Network special on a Friday afternoon at like 4:30 p.m., I find that hard to believe. They might do that. They might do that. But my guess is they're not going to do that. And like this is obviously a very big show. They're stacking it with title matches. But they really have pushed, have they not pushed the Backlash pay-per-view harder than this pay-per-view on television? They have they not?
I think matches on the Backlash they have, but I think on this they've pushed this pretty nonstop.
I know, but
it's been pretty ubiquitous.
They show like a commercial for it and all that sort of thing, but I mean, every angle that they shoot is for Backlash. They're not shooting angles for this pay-per-view.
That's basically yes.
Okay, so like the guy said, they're getting a trophy. Like the winner is not getting a championship match.
We had to tell him that.
Which, by the way, I might add, he said it's always been like that. It hasn't always been like that. It wasn't until, I don't know.
Hacksaw Duggan did not get a title.
Yeah, there were several years of Royal Rumbles where the winner was not guaranteed a championship.
But I understand his point, though. We've been trained as wrestling fans.
It has been like that for a long time, sure. But the point is, this does not seem like this is, for Americans, for the casual WWE audience, a massive big-time show where they should be coordinating Roman Reigns. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either at this point, but if they do it, I think it's got less to do with the coronation of Roman Reigns, and it's got more to do with the moment, the public relations, the whatever it is, the picture that you'll have for eternity of, look what we did in front of 60,000 people the first time wrestling was run in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, but look, they could put the title on Nakamura. They could put the title on Jinder Mahal. They could put the title on the Usos. They could put the title on whoever.
Yeah, and there are going to be title changes. I mean, that's
there's a million things they could do. They don't have to coordinate Roman Reigns here.
And look, to be honest, a Daniel Bryan moment at the end, winning that Rumble and getting everybody to do yes, I think would hold more gravity than having Roman Reigns win. And I think this, again, with the extension that Brock has signed, I just think you go ahead and utilize that for something that's got everything to do with Brock and got really nothing to do with Roman. At this point, I don't know. Yes, I know you're still trying to crown Roman. It's not like he's going to go anywhere or anything like that. But now everything's really, to me, got to be centered around Brock, his reign, how long he's going to be there, the UFC, Paul being slimy, all of that sort of stuff. That's the most interesting thing that show has.
Should also mention, by the way, that... never mind. I was in the middle of trying to talk, and then I got a message from Vimeo. 8 days... We still haven't got our channel fixed.
You guys been fighting on Twitter, I see.
But I'm over it. Like today, they said, "Hey, send me your case number." I'm like, "I sent you the case number 3 days ago. We're now going on 8 days."
What are we gonna do here?
And you know what? I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do in a second. First off, you realize they're losing money as well because they get a cut of all of this. Like, what's going on here? Why does this take 8 days to get this channel put back up?
Apparently, Vimeo doesn't like money.
Now, for those of you that are subscribers to the video site and haven't gotten a video in, like, going on almost 2 weeks now.
I'm going to send you a private one.
If you go to the board and you go to the Bryan and Vinny thread from last night, we'll put this in the daily update too, but the video is available right now. We've got it up there. It's free for everybody, so I'm just going to send everybody to the board to get it. So it's mostly for subscribers, but anyway, the video is up on the Bryan and Vinny thread, and hopefully this will get remedied somewhat soon. And I'm going to read this thing here from Vimeo in a moment, and I'm going to be furious after the break, but I don't know what else I can do.
Just curse off air.
I'm trying to get this thing fixed for everybody. This person says, "I don't understand why they wouldn't give a title shot to the winner. It doesn't have to be on pay-per-view, just do it on TV." They could do that. Listen, they could. They can do whatever they want. Maybe we'll find out tonight.
They have enough belts. Why don't you have a Saudi national champion as well, too?
Maybe they will. They're going to start a performance center there, apparently, which I still can't believe.
Well, is it just going to be like a local UFC gym? I mean, is it really going to be a full performance center?
I don't know. They're claiming it's going to be a full performance center, so I guess we'll see. Back in a moment, Wrestling Observer Live. Apologize, everybody. I was furiously typing right here.
All right.
We apologize for the delay on this. We understand your frustration. Actually, you don't. Clearly.
No, you don't.
Our trust and safety team is in the midst of handling your case. We've been in contact with these specialists, and they have assured us that they are working on it. We are very sorry for the less than stellar support time on this. Our trust and safety team. Does everybody know what happened here?
Are you?
Let me explain this to everybody real quick.
I would say, what kind of narcotic or?
Let me explain what happened, okay? All right. Art Bell passed away. I thought, you know what? Let's pay tribute to Art Bell.
That's cool.
I'm going to open up the show with the Midnight Express music. I'm going to end the show with whatever I used.
Jojo Marauder, yeah?
The flutes, okay?
Yes.
So, I didn't even think about it, because I never use copyrighted music on the show.
And here's why, people.
I put it up, and the music got flagged. And you know what they did when the music got flagged? They didn't pull the video down. They took the entire channel down. Okay? The channel is down.
Man.
So listen. Okay, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I apologize. Like, take the video down, and either we won't have the video up, or you know what? I'll just edit out the music at the start and the end. I don't even think the music in the end even made it on the video. I think it was only the music at the beginning. Fine, I'll take it down. Okay? They're talking about the trust and safety team in the midst of handling a case with specialists involved. Like, it's called hit go. Put the channel back up. Take the video down. I don't ever need to see that video again as long as I live. You can take that video and delete it from all servers that have ever existed on this planet. I could do that in 2 seconds. If I had the channel up. Well, seriously, it's been 8 days. They can't even tell us anything. They can't explain any of this.
Seems kind of extreme. It's like, you know, back in the 80s and 90s when people were selling like bootleg tapes and somebody came through and instead of just taking the tape away, they just flipped the whole table over and destroyed the place. And that's essentially what Vimeo is doing with your business, is just destroying it and trying to kill it and choke it out. Do we have an alternative for Vimeo? Because I can't believe you're going to let this stand if we ever get the channel back up.
Okay, so explain to me, there was maybe 5 seconds of music at the end.
Well,
okay, I've been alerted.
How much at the beginning?
I have actually been alerted just now.
Yes.
That it's possible that the video site is now back up.
Oh, really?
So if you'd like to go check it out, video.f4wonline.com.
I still think you need to get your pound of flesh.
8 days later.
Are you going to get paid back for this?
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Is that going to trickle down to me?
I have no idea what I'm going to do. But, I mean, you know, this is one of the things, like, I'm not trying to sound like a victim here, okay? But, like, to me, when people are upset that they can't watch the videos, like, can you imagine how I feel? I don't think people even understand how infuriated I am when I cannot provide you what you paid for.
And then you bitch at him, and that really pisses him off.
I don't. I haven't said one thing to any subscribers except I'm sorry. I've apologized over and over and over and over again.
Well, what else can you do? It's not your fault. It's their fault. What do they want? You know, what else can you do besides apologize?
I don't know, but for crying out loud, I'm losing it. Let's go to the phone. You're on the air. What's going on?
This is Jim from Virginia.
Hi,
Jim. Talk about Paul Jones for a minute. We'll talk about Paul Jones for a minute. Have any reports came out about his cause of death?
No, but I mean, he was, what was he, 75 years old? So I don't know. It could have been anything.
Have they set a date for the funeral?
I have not heard about a funeral for Paul Jones.
You know what? I'll see if Mike Mooneyham's got anything up or something like that. I'll find out for you, Jim.
Okay. Because Paul, he was, Bruno was huge. No doubt about it. Bruno's death takes preeminence. But Paul Jones was a big star, too, because I grew up in the Mid-Atlantic area. I knew Paul Jones and Nelson Royal. Paul Jones and Wahoo McDaniel was one of the best tag teams there's ever been.
I love Paul Jones.
Area was.
I haven't seen enough of him wrestling, but, man.
Yeah, him and Ricky Steamboat both. I mean, that's the one thing, for as much as we talked about Paul Jones and went back and forth about his managerial capabilities and how he came across as wrestling started to go national when wrestling was regional, Paul Jones was a real star and a real babyface superstar at a time people believed throughout the Southeast and in Florida and in the Mid-Atlantic, like Jim can tell you, growing up there. He was a big star. He was at times the biggest star. And look, he was not a big guy, but when you think of him in there banging around with Blackjack Mulligan or Wahoo McDaniel or Johnny Valentine, and people still believed, that tells you a lot.
You know what was so funny? They had this gimmick he did with Paul, where if he used a karate chop, he would be disqualified.
That's awesome.
It's his karate.
Man, wait till I make my comeback, Jim. After the first match, my chop's going to be grounds for disqualification.
You and Walter.
Oh, by the way, got some good news. I was on Twitter the other day. I believe they said, Lufisto posted it that she is cancer-free.
That's awesome.
Nice.
It's great news.
Awesome. Oh, one other thing. Tessa Blanchard was doing commentary at Redemption last night. They said she did real well. And I know that Winter is coming back to Impact, too.
Who is?
Winter, Katrina Walton.
Oh, Winter. Okay.
Winter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Jim, listen, I want to thank you very much for the call. Take care of yourself. I'm glad we have got some good news here on the show here today. Yeah, she was there on the show last night. Did you guys watch Redemption? I got a tweet right here. I don't want to be that guy today, but look at this guy. Are you going to review Redemption? Well, let's see. I reviewed it twice yesterday on 2 different shows.
Oh, I didn't know the radio show was down too. Apparently, the podcast was down.
I think the ears are down. That seems to be the big problem here on the show every day.
Thank God calls are up though.
They are up. Yeah, I watched Redemption. I thought it was a pretty good show. I know that some people weren't blown away by it, but I went in with very, very low expectations. If you've ever listened to this show back when we used to watch Impact all the time, I mean, I don't know why my expectations would have been high, but the TV's better.
Scorched earth right now, baby.
And hey, they had a better show. Pentagon, Austin Aries, Phoenix was a good main event. Pentagon's a new Impact World Champion. That was good. I thought the Ohio versus Everything versus Eddie Edwards, Moose, and Tommy Dreamer was the best match on the show. Post-match angle was awesome. Could have used without a couple of cane shots to the head, but what can you do? There was only 2.
Are you going to make this part of your regular routine? Were you sold enough by this to make it part of?
I've been
maybe
watching
if not
it.
your week, your month.
I've been watching the shows. I watched the show this past Thursday. I saw 2 Pentagon Aries Phoenix matches within 2 days of each other. Actually,
well, that's right. The one at WrestleMania, which I guess I don't know. Was that Friday night? I can't remember.
That was, I believe,
It was a good match. I saw it on
Saturday.
Twitch and that was actually a very good match. I'm thinking it's like, well, it's supposed to be Del Rio in there, and it's like, I'm very happy that Del Rio was out of that equation.
Let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's going on?
What's up, guys? How are you? It's Savon from Jersey.
What's happening?
What's going on? Yeah, once you guys are talking about redemption, that Tommy Dreamer match, I know you were saying, Brian, was really good. Man, I got to agree with you. That match was great. That post-match, that beatdown on Sami Callihan was actually really, really awesome. And one of the things that I like that TNA does or Impact does that WWE doesn't, the fact that women and men, they actually, they combat they fight one another. I know WWE stays away from that whole, men and women fighting each other, but I really like they get into areas that WWE doesn't, and I commend them for that. It was really overall a great show, and it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Well, I want to thank you very much for the call. What I loved about the post-match was this all started when Sami Callihan accidentally hit Eddie Edwards in the face with a baseball bat and smashed his orbital bone. And so they're doing this match here, and it comes down to Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan in the ring, and Eddie's got a bat, and he's going to kill Sami Callihan for revenge, and gets cut off. Tommy Dreamer hits the ring. Now Tommy Dreamer has a baseball bat with barbed wire around it. This is even worse. And he goes to slash up the head of Sami Callihan, and Sami Callihan gives him a low blow, pins him with a cradle. So he wins the match. However, there's Eddie Edwards, and he's got the Singapore cane. And he absolutely destroys all of the heels. He takes tape, and he tapes Sami Callihan to the ropes, basically like he's crucifying him on the ropes. He takes the baseball bat with the barbed wire, he rubs it all over the guy's face. Callahan's bleeding everywhere. I'm not a big fan of blood in this sort of thing, but when you have an angle that started with a guy nearly breaking another dude's orbital bone with an accidental baseball bat strike, and you're going to continue the feud, I mean, there probably should be some blood involved here. So Callahan's bleeding everywhere. He's taped to the ropes. He's half dead. Eddie Edwards is just killing all the heels with these strikes with his stick. Tommy Dreamer's like trying to calm the guy down. You're out of control, dude. Calm down. He's whacking everybody with the stick. He whacks Callahan with the stick. And then somebody grabs Eddie from behind. Eddie just flies around, swings his stick. It's his wife. He knocks her out with the stick. Now he's devastated. Tommy Dreamer's yelling at him. Dude, you're out of control. He's yelling at Tommy. His wife is unconscious. All the guys come out in smocks to take care of her. They're trying to make sure that she's okay. The crowd's all buzzing. And in the middle of all of this turmoil that Eddie Edwards has caused, there is Sami Callihan crucified on the ropes, overseeing all of this. It was an incredible visual. You can't do it all the time. But, man, I thought for the way that this storyline has gone, I thought that was just awesome. And now they can still do their singles match on a pay-per-view down the road and have an actual finish where the babyface can prevail. Back in a moment with more Wrestling Observer Live. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. Yes, the video site is now back up after 8 days. Video.f4wonline.com. We are in the middle of trying to get every video up from the past week. We taped everything. We just couldn't put it up. So it'll be going up very, very soon.
Need some of that KY duration for it.
And we apologize to everybody once again for all of this inconvenience. Let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, guys. It's Jess from Riverside. I do agree. I thought Impact put on a really, really good show yesterday. People just have to take it for what it is. They're trying to change. They're trying to put something different out there. Like you said, they like to sprinkle old school stuff in. They're trying the new school stuff as well. And you just got to like Impact for what it is. But so that's my take on that. But my big thing is about the greatest Royal Rumble in the history of Royal Rumbles ever that's coming up. I feel like Vince and the WWE has kind of put us in this weird vortex, and I kind of hate it. Whereas, like, he's got to be painfully aware that Roman is not getting over and that nothing that he's tried is working. But I think now he's putting the corporate spin on it, which is like, well, we got people talking, so he's over. So everyone, of course, is talking right now about what's going to happen between him and Brock. And we're really just speculating over Brock's contract. but Vince is kind of putting his corporate spin on it. Look at how they're talking about Roman. We got him right where we want. And that's what I'm scared to death of. I'm scared that Roman's going to get another title reign out of this because Vince thinks that that since we're talking, he's actually over. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, we don't even know. I should mention this, by the way, on that topic. We don't even know how long Brock has on this new deal. I mean, if it's one match, obviously, he's losing the title on Friday. But I just can't imagine after changing the plan, they only signed him to one show. I mean, maybe they did. I mean, obviously, part of this is Brock as well. Maybe Brock's whole deal is, my contract was supposed to be over now. I'm only going to sign for one more date. So, we get this done in Saudi Arabia or it ain't happening. It's possible that he said that. However, you got to remember that Brock still is not in the USADA testing pool. So, until he gets into the USADA testing pool, there's no fight within the next 7 months. He's got to be in the pool for 6 straight months before he can fight again. So if he had already got into the pool, I would think, you know what, maybe he agreed to stay through Saudi Arabia. But that's it. The fact that he hasn't even entered the testing pool yet tells me he's either in no hurry or he's doing what he can to get himself an even better deal from WWE like he did last time.
Well, you're right about both of those things, but he doesn't have to be in that testing pool until, late May if he's going to have a fight at the end of the year, and they're going to do a big fight at the end of the year. So he's got some time there, and it comes right down to how long is this contract for? I can't believe it's just for this one show in Saudi Arabia, but I guess it's possible with the names that they're bringing back. Your Chris Jericho and throwing him into a casket match with The Undertaker. I mean, there's a lot of randomness on this show, so maybe that's all it is, and we'll have an idea after tonight possibly what's going to happen, but I don't know. To me, I run this thing out with Brock as long as I can. Like the caller said, like everybody knows, they're not going to give up on Roman. He's going to be around. But to me, the focus of this show should just be if Brock's going to be around for longer than one show in Saudi Arabia, to me, you just kind of build the whole thing around him as just a presence on that show.
Got a whole bunch of text messages here. I want to jump into those. If you want to give us a call, 844-411-5411. Text messages, 425-780-7566. Pat from New Jersey here says, I notice the all-in lineup is starting to get pretty stacked. Couldn't help but wonder, are there any plans to film this thing? Between Twitch, Honor Club, NJPW, it seems like they have options, but I understand it is a separate show.
Oh, they'll figure something out.
Well, hold on a second. I don't know all of the business details of this, but I'm not sure how much of a separate show that it is. I'm pretty sure, I don't know this, but I think that Ring of Honor is involved. And so I would not be surprised if it aired on the Honor Club streaming service. I would not be surprised if they swung a deal to also get it on New Japan World. I don't know what they're going to do. I'd be very surprised if there were no way to watch it except to show up live. Although if they do want to sell 10,000 tickets, I mean,
that's true, but I mean,
possible.
you don't have to announce anything with the streaming or any of that sort of stuff. You can start setting it up. You don't have to announce it until after you start getting some of your initial ticket, returns and things like that, because you're going to get you're going to get people to buy it, and you're going to get people to go. So for them to not have anything, I really have a very, very difficult time believing that, even if it's on a short delay. But to me, they're leaving way too much on the table, making it a one night. You got to be. This is an event. It's why people pay $100 for boxing matches and UFC fights that aren't going to be any good, but you end up getting it at the last minute anyway because you want to feel like you're going to be a part of something. This is a time where everybody's going to want to feel like they're a part of something, and to not take advantage of that would just simply be stupid.
Let's go to the phones. You are on the air. What is going on? Not this.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Mike. How you doing?
There we go. What's going on?
Phil from Waverly here.
What's up?
Not much. I was wondering how you guys felt about WWE doing business in Saudi Arabia. It's a really bad.
We've been talking about this for a week now.
Right. Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. I think it's how come there's no publicity on it? I don't see any outside media outlets covering it. It's kind of crazy that, you have a country that, objectifies, women, they don't have rights and things like that. So it seems like more media would be picking up on it.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, maybe they're busy writing about the fabulous Moolah or something like that. But yeah, we've been talking about this for a week, so I'm going to move on from it.
I love geopolitics in the simplest form.
This person here says...
they repress women and stuff, and we should do stuff.
Well, they do oppress women, Mike, and he thinks that we should do stuff.
You're exactly right, but it's I haven't heard any publicity for this. Well, have you gone to the Saudi embassy? I mean, what? I don't know. Again, there's a disconnect, I think, just between what this show is and what business is, and what a whole another aspect of pro wrestling fandom.
It says, on Friday you said there was a Booker T story that you would talk about on Sunday's program, and you never did. What's the story?
Is it the Raw?
Yeah, he's doing Raw tonight. Yeah, the coach is doing golf, and so Booker T's back on Raw. That was the whole story. I just brought it up because we had Matt Cross in studio, and people are texting me asking about Booker T on Raw. I'm afraid that had to fall... It had to fall into second place behind Matt Cross.
The coach is on NBC Golf. That's got to be a pretty good deal.
Bert says, what are the chances of a tiered WWE network by the end of this year? I don't know by the end of this year, but it's coming.
It's coming.
It's already April.
So tough. Amazon's up to $12.99, and I think they're the highest of the bunch, although I don't know what HBO
God, I'm going to have to rate my prices then.
Well, I'm curious as to if are they going to go $14.99? Is it $19.99? Do you just jump to that and go?
It depends on what you're giving them.
Well, yeah, that's true. I know, but it's I don't know how many tiers you're going to want to have, and to me, I'm probably going to try to make up some of that money I've been losing, because there's one thing about your core that you have of fans, and I don't know what that number is, 500,000 at this point, where they're going to pay $20. Make it $20. You know what I mean? Don't play around with this stuff too much, giving 99 cents here or
hey, they got a new 99-cent offer coming out today, by the way.
Oh, no.
Yep.
For how long?
I think it was 3 months for 99 cents.
Yeah. It's just insane.
That's what I talked about when the thing came out, where everybody was impressed about the number of paid subscribers. From January through WrestleMania, they were bombarding people with various offers. And the offers were 3 months for 99 cents, 3 months for $1.99, 3 months for $2.99.
$2.99.
Now, the obvious reason for doing this is, well, which one shows the highest retention rate? I think that's why they chose the different tiers. And for whatever reason, they're going back to I find it hard to believe that the 3 months for 99 cents had the highest retention rate. I'm exceedingly skeptical, because people who are cheap are cheap. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so if I were going to offer the print newsletter, and I said, I'm going to send this out to anybody who wants a copy. If you want a free copy, send me this money, or send to this address. And then the other offer would be, anyway, the point of this is,
when all
if I charge 25 cents for this newsletter,
boom,
okay, I'm going to get more people subscribing, having tried it out for 25 cents, than the people that try it out for free. Got it? Okay, point of this is, apparently they found out that the 99-cent offers have the highest retention rate per the number of people that give it a try for 99 cents. Now, what that means is, my point of this is, when you look at all of the numbers, and they say we've got 1.9 million paid subscribers, there are a large number of those, I don't know how many, that are paying 33 cents a month. So this is not as impressive as it looks. Yeah, they have more paid subscribers, but they're getting nothing out of the deal, basically.
And what was the original total that we thought, what's their original, base that they had where people, the people that rushed and signed up at first, what was that original number roundabout? I don't
know, first day it was 750,000 or somewhere around there.
And you got to figure.
But it's grown from there.
But I know, but you got to figure at least 500 of those 750,000, like you said at the beginning, because I was not big on making it a very high price. But I thought you could make a lot more than $9.99 if you so chose. But if you had made it $19.99, or if you make it $19.99 right now, those people would pay for it anyway. And how much they've taken out of their own pocket, and that's where I could see them being stupid with the stream, with the tiering of this thing, just for the reasons you mentioned, because they're always looking for gimmicks on the last number alone. That it's just going to be the same sort of thing where, or if you're going to give away your top tier, you know, for 99 cents for 3 months and then hope people retain, yet you're charging people $9.99 a month, and there's still people like their whole thing is so messy, it's unbelievable.
This person here says there was a Saudi Arabian commercial featuring Bobby Lashley in the Intercontinental title ladder match. Have you heard anything about this? I have not, but if it's happening, we'll find out tonight. This person here says, Bryan and Company, what surprise do you think WWE has in store for the 50-man Rumble? Also, any reports on new Saudi talent being signed and invited to the Performance Center?
Goldberg.
There's at least one of the individuals involved in the Saudi tryouts is actually going to be in the 50-man Royal Rumble.
Well, that makes sense.
And as far as everybody else, I mean, every man on the roster that's not in another match, and maybe some that are in other matches, and probably a bunch of surprises as well. So I think it'll be very much like that, like the women's Royal Rumble, where they had a bunch of outsiders because they needed 30 bodies and they don't have 30 women. This time you need 50 male bodies. And I presume we'll be getting some, I mean, obviously Rey Mysterio is going to be there. I think Great Khali is going to be there, guys like that, but maybe some others as well.
That's what I'm wondering, who the random bodies are going to be, if they bring in any random bodies from the past.
This person says, it seems pretty clear to me Roman will win. They can forever say they had the first title change in Saudi Arabia and make it a big deal. Well, first off, it wouldn't be his title change. He's already been the champion many times. Second off, on this show, I'd be very surprised if none of the other titles changed hands before his did. I don't think they need this for the history. Who cares? Does anyone care that he would have won the title in Saudi Arabia, like in this country?
Yeah.
Is that a big deal for anybody?
Wrestling fans, no. PR, maybe.
Back in a moment. Wrestling Observer Live. This person here says, hearing Vinny rant about traffic last night and Bryan rant about Vimeo was the best part of my day. I renewed my subscription with my gas money, just because it's too funny to miss.
Jesus.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that. At least some good came of this.
Well, good, yeah, and I guess if you know, now that you don't have any gas, at least you don't have anywhere to go, and you can sit there and listen to all of the audio that's in the archives.
And now watch it. Believe it or not.
And watch it, exactly.
Yeah, the video site is back up, video.f4wonline.com.
Idiots at Vimeo.
We got it fixed, I think. Now we're trying to get all the old videos from the past week uploaded, so we'll get those up there. And we're going to... I better not even talk about it. We got some other ideas we want to do with video, but let me get over this first before we talk about that.
Yeah, consequences and repercussions of Vimeo.
So, should mention, by the way, on another note, Dr. Luch hasn't been on for a long time, but he's going to be up sometime this week. Hopefully we can get that worked out. Might actually have, believe it or not, another in-studio guest coming up on Friday.
Really?
We're going to try and set up more of those.
The revolving door there at Casa de Alvarez?
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yeah. I got people coming in off the street now. It's crazy. So we'll talk about that over the next couple of days. And don't forget, we are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sundays, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern. As noted, besides the video site, you can get the audio at WrestlingObserver.com. 9,000 shows in the archives. Every show we've ever done, dating back to 2005, is available for you. So if you love the shows, I mean, there's no better place to go than WrestlingObserver.com. So check it out. Thanks, Mike, as always. Callers and listeners, everybody in the studio. We'll talk to you again next time, Wrestling Observer Live.